Hey folks, it's Kirk Langford, General Manager of Unique Training and Development and Frontline Leadership Systems USA, and we're here with another episode of Leader Feeder. Suzanne is on a much-deserved vacation, and so you're stuck with just me, but I think we'll still have some fun and learn a little bit as well along the way. I got thinking recently about the idea of why a frontline leader should really care about leadership development, and should they? We have a lot of training sessions throughout North America, and it's not uncommon for a couple of people to show up to any given training session with either little notice, so they weren't really aware that they were going to be put into training, or they're there and you get the sense that they kind of feel like they're that person in the back going, yeah, this isn't for me. This is for, Bill over there. And so what we find is in those situations where people haven't had a lot of notice that they're going to be doing some leadership development, or in situations where they feel like they don't need to improve or whatnot, as you can imagine, they don't get much out of that training session. Kind of like anything when you go to learn a new skill or a new habit or really anything at all, it's when you've decided that you want to work on something and that you want to improve in that particular skill that you tend to see the most success. If someone else is telling you that you have to do it, it can be harder to really get buy-in from or to feel a sense of buy-in for yourself. And we find that in our training sessions. Now, that's not to say that we haven't been able to turn a few people in the training sessions that come up to us after and go, wow, that was way better than I expected. But we thought to ourselves, we got thinking about why is it important and should a frontline leader really care about their leadership development? In some cases, they'll say, listen, the way I manage my team is effective enough. They do what I want them to do. I think they trust me. It's all good. So where's the impetus to kind of keep going above and beyond to continue developing your skills as a frontline leader? Why not kind of say it's good enough? It is what it is. And there's a couple of reasons that I wanted to share with you. So the first one is that we believe that good leaders are made. Lots of people would say that a great leader is born, and I think to some extent there are definitely people that are born with skills or abilities or sort of predisposed to being maybe better leaders than other people. But I truly believe that a lot of what makes a leader great is how they're made, the experiences that they live through that make them a great leader. I also think it's having a sense of self-awareness, so knowing where some of their weaknesses are so they can work on those, and knowing what their strengths are so that they can really lead with those. And also a sense of curiosity. So this sense of, yeah, I know I'm not a perfect leader, but I want to get better. I'm curious to know how I can learn and develop and grow and get better. So we believe here at Unique Training and Development that great leaders are made. It's not just something that you're either born a great leader or you're not. And connected to that is this idea of leadership really being a skill, right? Leadership is, because it's not just something you're born with, it's something you can get better at. It's a skill like anything else. Now, within leadership, I think you could argue there's lots of skills: communication, your ability to manage conflict, how to give positive feedback, your problem solving and decision-making ability, how well you communicate with your team. These are all skills within this idea of being a good leader. But at the end of the day, those are all skills that we believe you can work on and get better at. So as a leader, anything you choose to work on and get better at is going to make you a better leader. And I think that's important because at the end of the day, if you work on all of these behaviors, basically anything that you practice, you're going to usually get better at over time. And those things that you practice are going to get easier over time. So the first time you give a feedback conversation as a new leader, it might feel awkward. You might be worried that you're going to offend somebody, and perhaps you might offend somebody with the way that you communicate with them or what you say. You're not sure if giving the feedback is even going to work at all. But by the 100th or the 200th or the 300th time you give feedback, or you're sitting down with someone to have a feedback conversation, you're generally going to feel much more confident than you did the first time. For a lot of our frontline supervisors and a lot of our frontline participants that attend our workshops, they are often technical operators that got promoted into frontline leadership roles because they were strong technical operators. So it's not really because they had strong leadership skills. It's more that they were good at their job. Leadership noticed that and said, hey, we want you to lead a team of people doing either the job you're currently doing or similar jobs. And so if those leaders, and if you're a frontline leader listening, I want you to think about, how did you feel the first day that you were hired as that technical operator? You were working on a certain piece of equipment or running a specific machine. Probably in a lot of ways you were unsure of yourself. You didn't know if you were doing it right. You needed some training. You had a lot of questions. But by day 100, by day 200, by day 300, each time you were more confident than 100 days before that. The same thing happens in leadership. The more we practice managing conflict, the more we practice being an effective communicator, naturally, the better we become at it. And there's bumps along the way. We're not saying that, leadership progression goes like this. It probably goes more like this, but you see progress along the way, and that's what's important. And so where this comes down to why we think that leaders should care, frontline leaders should care about leadership development, is because in getting better at those skills, your life becomes a little bit easier. It becomes less stressful to be a leader because you're better at it. You're able to handle situations that you previously felt very nervous about or didn't know how to handle. So you develop your confidence, and that confidence actually makes your life a little bit less stressful. And I think with the pace of life right now and everything that's going on, we could all use a little bit less stress. So even though the idea of working on skills and developing skills can seem stressful in and of itself, just know that maybe there is a short-term idea of, there's a bit of added stress as you work to get better, rather than just relying on your default habits or behaviors. At the end, in the longer term, you've actually made things easier for yourself by choosing to want to get better. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that if you're already in a leadership position, if you're already a frontline leader, then you might already be interested in continuing to grow and develop your leadership skills. Maybe you want to be promoted eventually. So you're currently a frontline supervisor. Maybe you eventually want to be a frontline manager. Maybe you want to become a production manager, operations manager. Maybe you want to be plant manager or that site leader at that location. At the end of the day, the more capable you are as a leader now, and the more you work to become a more competent leader, the easier it will be for you to lead bigger and different teams as you go forward. And also keep in mind that management might be watching. I know sometimes it might feel like they're not, but they are often keeping their eye out for, who is a capable, consistent, and confident leader that could potentially go from, again, a supervisor to a manager. So continuing to work on your skills means that you might be more open to a promotion, right, or available or eligible, but it also means that if you are put onto another team, you're going to be more prepared, you're going to have more confidence, and that transition is probably going to be a lot smoother than if you just sort of rested on your laurels and didn't continue to develop your leadership skills. So the third part is really about setting an example for your team. I mentioned in my first tip or my first reason that becoming a better frontline leader makes your life a bit easier because it makes you less stressed because you continue to develop and grow, but it actually also improves the lives of your team members. When you're a more calm, consistent, capable, and confident leader, you lead your team with less stress, less drama, less reactive behavior, and you're more constructive and positive. And therefore, your team feels better about it. We joke that our mission is that we want to create a world where there's no more bad bosses. And I say we joke because that's a pretty big goal to have. But at the end of the day, we really mean that. Nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, I can't wait for my leader to yell at me. I can't wait for my boss to make me feel like crap. No one wakes up feeling that. Now, I'm not saying people wake up and go, I can't wait to spend the day with my boss because they are so awesome. I'm not saying that's happening either. But I do think that people wake up and feel a lot less anxious about going to work if they have a leader who they feel supports them, cares about them, wants them to be successful, wants to build their skills, and wants to engage them and involve them in the team and in the success of the team and of the department. So the better you are as a leader, the more confident you are, you actually, first of all, set a great example of leading with trust and respect, but you also create a team that is less stressful, and you improve the lives of your team members and create a more positive work culture. So I think for all of those reasons, the idea that any skill that you work on is going to make your life a little bit less stressful as you continue to practice that skill and get better at it. You might already be in a leadership position, or you already are if you're a frontline leader. And so you might want to continue to develop those skills so that you might get noticed by management, and just so that you have that curiosity to grow and develop. And because setting a positive example of being curious and open and wanting to learn and grow sets a great example for your team. In my mind, all of those are great reasons why any frontline leader should think about and be interested in continuing to develop themselves as a leader. So there's some interesting stuff there. Hopefully you found there's a little tidbit or just something interesting. I'd love to know your thoughts below. If you're a frontline leader, what are your thoughts on leadership development? Sometimes it might feel a little bit like a begrudging thing we're forced into. Other people we work with are really excited about the idea. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, your take on kind of frontline leadership and leadership development. And if you're interested in developing your frontline leaders a bit more, if that's something that you have a focus on in 2026 and beyond, reach out to us. Our website is uniquedevelopment.com. We'd love to hear from you and discuss how we might be able to help you develop your frontline leaders in your organization.